So in order to do this lab, obviously we have to start with a new project. So I've had Visual Studio open here with this project, and I'll just do a whole new project, and we'll call it the Lab 01, which is Schemas Mapping Lab. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is, it says create a schema called this and create a schema called this. So we're going to create two schemas, so we'll just start with the first one. The first one is going to be called Loan Application In. So we'll do right click, add new item, schemas, regular schema, Loan Application In. And then again, the first thing I would do is change the root to actually match the name of the file over here. At that point, we need to go back and see what we need to add. So we need first name, last name, middle initial, and salary. So we're going to add child, and it's your I didn't say whether they had to be elements or attributes, so let's use elements. So we have first name, let's put middle initial. Of course, your XML element names cannot have any blanks in the middle. And then we need a salary. What did it say? Total salary or just salary? Salary is going to be a numeric money decimal. So we come over here and select decimal. Okay, and then we need home appraised value. Which would also be a decimal. The next field is car value 1, car value 2, and car value 3. So they assume that perhaps you have 3 cars. And we'll make that decimal. You can also say here copy and then paste. Paste it again. Now, of course, you can't have 3 elements with the same name. So now that they're there, you can rename them. But that way it copied over the decimal for us. Okay, then we have spouse name and spouse salary. Let's just call it spouse first name. We'll assume they have the same last name. And spouse salary, which needs to be decimal. Okay, then we have monthly debt payment. Also decimal. And then we have occurring group, the number of children. Okay, so to do that, the hint basically says you need to have a record. So we add a record instead of an element here, and we call it children. And then under the record, we start adding elements for whatever it is we need to add. So there are, looks like 4 fields for each children: his age, birthday, name, and salary. They don't have to be in any particular order. So child name, child age, probably needs to be an integer. Child salary, that would need to be decimal. And their birth date. And that would need to be a date, obviously. Okay, so that is the end of our first schema right there. So we could save that. Now we're ready to make our second schema, which is going to be called Loan Work. So we come here, add new item, schema, and then just type in Loan Work. And again, we'll replace the root element name with the same name. And now our specification says this is what we need: the customer name in the format last name, comma, first name, middle initial. So right-click, insert element, what do you call it, customer name or application name, customer name. Then we need spouse name and combined salary. Combined salary. That would be decimal. Okay, then we need combined salary will be the sum of the salaries of the applicant, the spouse, and all of the children's. Okay, now we need the number of children. That would be an integer. And then we need the age of the oldest child. So this is kind of a contrived scenario, but again, it will force you to exercise many of the different functoids that are available in BizTalk. So the age of the oldest child will be an integer. The age of the youngest child, it's going to be the same type of logic except backwards. Okay, then we have the total children's salary. So what I'm going to do there is just copy this salary, save a little time. And then we'll rename it to, I'm just going to copy and paste here, total children's salary. It's already got the decimal for us. Highest car value. So that would also be a decimal, so we can paste again. And then the lowest car value, paste again. Okay, home appraised value, that would also be a decimal. Total value, all cars. We'll just keep pasting here, it's easier. Rename. Total value, all cars. Number of, it should say cars, not cards. So how many cars do they actually have? That would be an integer. Average car value. That would need to be decimal. Name of first child. Name of oldest child. So we'll copy this, paste. So first child, we're assuming firstborn child. Name of oldest child, loan points, and we're going to give them a little formula here in our exercise. Loan points, and I believe that's going to be an integer. And we're about done. How much of the loan are they approved for? Which would be a decimal because it's a dollar amount. And by the way, when I do this in the class, I would say it takes the students at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours, to do this lab. So building the schemas, you know, if you're a beginner, could easily take 30-45 minutes, and you can see here that I did it in about 9 minutes. So, you know, the first time you do it, it's going to take a little bit of extra time. So we've created our two schemas here, and so I'm going to end this video and encourage you to try to do the maps on your own before you watch the answer to those.